You're listening to Business Lunch with Roland Frasier. This is your seat at the table.
Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Business Lunch. I got Russell Brunson here today. Russell, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks for being here. I see you've got your collection of 4 books there in the background.
The box set is done.
I have also got that collection
Yes.
of 4 books. Thank you for sending. And then separately, I have my Traffic Secrets book. So I'm like all set.
You're ready. That's awesome.
How are things going with you and the business and everything while this crazy coronavirus thing's going on?
It's good. Obviously, there's a lot of chaos in the community just because some people, their whole livelihood just, shifted. ClickFunnels is companies, luckily the majority we have 400 employees and most of them work from home anyway. So it didn't have a huge disruption there. There are a couple pockets of little offices, but, other than that, and what's been fascinating for me to watch is on a typical day, we get about 15,000 people a day to log into ClickFunnels to do funnely stuff, right? And right now, for the last three and a half weeks, it's been closer to 30 to 35,000 a day.
That's really cool. I was wondering, I'm guessing that overall you're seeing more people coming in and signing up now as they're wanting to figure out how to run their business from home and get things going. Yes. And they've got more time just to do the things that they don't normally have time to do, right?
I think for such a long time, it's been like, I know you've read the book, Good to Great. They talk about good's the enemy to great. And I feel like so many times people they've wanted to create a great business, but they've got a good one. So they're like, I'm just, I'll think think about it. I'll read books about it. I'll listen to podcasts. They're not going to do anything. Where now sometimes good just got ripped away from them. And they're like, okay, it's time to make something great. And I think it's kind of lit a fire under a lot of people. And, as bad as it is, I think there's definitely some positives to it for a lot of people. It's going to make them shift and grow in a way that they never felt before.
So. That's awesome. Well, it's kind of timely. You've got your new book now that people are home and working on their funnels and getting their stuff up. Now they're kind of like, how do I get traffic, right?
Especially how traffic, the costs, I'm sure you guys have seen across a lot of your businesses, but traffic costs in not all markets, some markets has gone up, but so many markets, the costs have dropped so dramatically that now it's like people can test with a lot less money and try things out. There's so many free ways to get traffic to that are working for people as well. So it's definitely, it's a good time. Funny because like the book launch started the day that Trump announced everyone's had to stay home. And I was like, I don't know if it's gonna be good or bad, but here we are. It depends on people's businesses. Like one of the big messages in the book, and I'm trying to get a lot of people to understand is just I think for so many people for the last 7-8 years, like Facebook has been so good and so easy that most people build their businesses there. Like I always ask people like, how do you get traffic to their business? Like Facebook. And I'm like, okay, what else? Like, that's it. Like, that's how I run my business. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, people like me or you who've been doing this for a long time. Like I remember, pre-Facebook, pre-MySpace, pre-Friendster, like back then, like we had to figure out, and that's where I met Ryan Deiss originally. Both of us were back there trying to figure out how to get traffic in your funnels before there was like platforms to get traffic on. And I think that there's so many ways to get traffic people aren't even aware of, they don't think about. And so that's what this book really dives a lot into, is just helping people understand that. And like, okay, I think the 2 things we talk the most about in here is like, number one is like, I think at this point in time, especially people have to get a really, really clear, good understanding of who their dream customer actually is. I think before they was like, oh, it's targeting, it's people interested in blah. And they just like, that's where we're run. But it's having a deep understanding, like who is my dream customer? Like, what are they, like really understand them at a different level. And then after you know who are they, then the second question is like, well, where are these people actually congregating online? Not just what are they targeting on Facebook, but where are they congregating? Because there's so many traffic sources that most people don't even think about, right? So it's like, okay, let's say your dream person is a health and fitness person. Like, okay, what are all the health and fitness blogs they're currently reading? And then it's going to those blogs and like buying ads, doing guest posts on those. Like there's so much traffic there that's been just underutilized because everyone's like, oh, I just buy Facebook ads. It's like, no, there's pockets, these huge pockets of people there. Or podcast. Right. I was showing somebody this today who told me that it's impossible to get traffic today. I said, okay, open up your phone, open up your podcasting app. And I was like, go to the top shows. If you click on where's that? Top shows. And then you can pick the categories. So there's like, I don't know, there's a dozen categories. There's comedy, there's sports, there's true crime, there's arts, fashion, health and fitness, kids and family. Like, and you pick one, so you pick health and fitness. It's like there's the top 200 health and fitness podcasts right now in your market. Most of them are looking for people to interview. And it's like, there's I don't know, there's 100,000 visitors right there. You just have to contact people and be like, hey, I have a good story. Can I tell it on your show? And all of a sudden, boom, you're getting traffic from these other sources. So I think what I'm seeing most people, like, at least my goal is get people shift their thinking away from like, let me just do Facebook ads to like, who are my dream customers? Where are they at? What blogs they're reading, what podcasts, what Facebook groups, what Instagram followers, like figuring out where these people are at and then tapping into those sources. And it just opens up your world to so many more places than most people ever think about.
I love that. Now, I noticed in the Traffic Secrets book, you talk about the Dream 100. Will you talk a little bit about that for a minute?
Yeah. I first learned about the Dream 100 from Chet Holmes, from his book, The Ultimate Sales Machine. And he used Dream 100 a little different. He was using it to try to land like these big, huge Fortune 500 companies. But his thought was like, let me find the 100 best people that could potentially buy my product. And I'm going to build out aggressive marketing campaigns to just 100 people as opposed to thousands and thousands. And I kind of took that and shifted a little bit. Instead of like, let me go find 100 customers I want to sell something to who are the people that already have my dream customers, right? And if I can figure out those people, and then like, how do I get them to then open up their list or their following to me? So, for example, in the book, if you open it up, what if I can find it real quick? I think it's past it. No. Yeah, on page 41, when you guys get it, there's like this graph here of the Dream 100. So it's like Facebook right here. So my question is like, who are all the people on Facebook that already have big, huge Facebook audiences with your dream customers, and making a list of all those people. And let's go into Instagram. Who are the Instagram influencers who already have huge followings of your dream customers? And you list out those. And who are the podcasters? And who are the YouTube channels? And who has the big email list? And who's got the big blog? So you write down as many people in each category. And the goal is when it's done to get like 100 people, where each of these people, if you got one of them to say yes, it could open up, instead of selling one product, it could sell 100 or 1,000 or 10,000. And then it's saying, okay, here's the 100 people that have all my customers. How do I market directly to them and get them to say yes and open up their list to everybody? And I know when we launched ClickFunnels 5 years ago, I don't have any technical skills. I don't know how to code or anything. And so while Todd was like coding ClickFunnels, my job was sitting there. I sat in a room while he was coding. I was like, okay, my job is I have to have a whole bunch of people ready to sign up for ClickFunnels the day it's ready. And we didn't know how to run Facebook ads back then. We had no traffic team. It was just me. And so like I was making lists of who's everyone on Facebook as our customers, who are all the podcasters and bloggers. And I'm calling them, emailing, sending gifts in the mail, like just trying to get to know them. And when we launched ClickFunnels, those were the ones who said, okay. And they started promoting to their audiences. And that's how we grew ClickFunnels so big, so fast, was all through that Dream 100 strategy. I
think it's so smart. Another thing that you talk about is the importance of story. And you mentioned that when you were talking about reaching out to the podcast people. Tell us a little bit about how that figures into the traffic game.
Yeah, there's a framework we started teaching everybody. We call it hook, story, offer. And you think about traffic, like when traffic is basically, I always imagine there's someone sitting on their cell phone at night, they're bored out of mind on Facebook and they're swiping through, right? Or they're on YouTube looking for a funny video, or they're on Instagram and they're just swiping. And our job as marketers then is to like, step number one is we have to grab their attention, right? So we're throwing out all these hooks that hopefully we'll grab their attention just long enough that they'll stop like mid swipe and like, whoa, wait, what was that? And they stop just for a second. So the first is the hook. And the hook could be a headline, could be a picture, could be a video, could be the weird background. It could be, the hook, anything you can use, all tools at your resource to grab their attention so they stop for a second. And after you have their attention, then you've got this little window of time where we have a chance to tell somebody our story. And the goal of this story is to increase the perceived value of the thing that we're going to sell in the future or next, right?
Right.
So we tell them a story, increase the perceived value, and then we make them an offer. And like that's the whole goal of it. And so if you look at any ad that's doing well, you start looking at like hook, story, offer, and you look at what's hook to grab me, what's the story they tell me to try to increase the value of the offer. The other fascinating thing that we started looking at is if you look at any sales funnel, every step in the sales funnel has its own hook, its own story, and its own offer. So the ad has a hook, right? Grabs attention, tells them a story, and then the offer is like, click here to learn more. And that's the offer, right? And then you go to the page, and it's like, you hook them with something there, you tell them a quick story, and then the offer could be like, give me your email address, or buy this product, or register for the webinar, or whatever it is there. And then you come on the next, and every single page has a hook, story, and offer. And what's fascinating is we, had a chance to work so many people in their funnels. It's like, whenever a funnel's broken or not working, it's like fixing it as simple as like looking at that. It's like each step in the process, something's not working. It's always either the hook, the story, or the offer. Either the hook's not grabbing someone's attention, and that's why the ad costs are expensive or the conversion's low, or the story does not build up the perceived value of the thing that you're trying to get them to do, or the offer sucks. And so it's like, if you look at that, it's like, oh, I need a better offer, or my story needs to be better, or like the hook's not getting their 10. Like how do we tweak that? And if you just look at each step in the process as hook, story, offer, how do I fix those things? Then it becomes really easy to diagnose or fix any marketing problem.
I love it. Now, a lot of, in some of the other things that you do, you talk about funnel hacking, like looking at other people's funnels and kind of seeing what's working. Is there a traffic hacking component as well?
100%. That's how I learned all this stuff, right? It's just, obviously there's good courses and good products, but the people who write the courses, where they come up with this stuff. And it's like, they're testing it and they're trying things and they're looking and seeing what's happening. And so I'm a big believer in that. And what's cool is there's so many amazing tools nowadays that'll help you to reverse engineer people's, their traffic campaigns.
What are some ones you like the most?
I love AdBeat. I don't know if you use AdBeat. And there's like AdBeat, What Runs Where, SimilarWeb. They're all kind of similar, but and those will go deep, not in like Facebook ads, but in kind of banner ads and stuff. And it'll show you like, here's the ads, here's how long they ran for, here's the landing pages, here's all the places that this ad was seen on and how long it was seen. It was seen for a week, or this one was seen for a year. And you can see all this data. And so it's really fun, especially if you know like somebody who's got a product that's got similar demographics to you, to plug that in, and also you start seeing these big, huge footprints of like where things are at. And it opens up so many just different doors of like, I never knew that blog existed, yet it's sending 20,000 visitors a month to this thing. And like, and this is the ad that's converting. So let me do my version of that. And it's really fun.
What are some of the more unusual traffic sources in your travels and explorations of all this stuff?
The best way to explain it is more like how we found a bunch of them. Do you remember Stumbled Upon? I don't know. I haven't used that site for a long time, but
I never really got it. I know that it used to be good for traffic.
So the way I used it was a little bit different. Like in Stumbled Upon is basically, for those who don't remember it, like you open up Stumble Upon and you click a button and it finds a random site and it's like, oh, here's a site you might like. And here's another one. It's like, you stumble upon stuff you may like. And so I was like, So I went in there and I put in like my keywords and like things I'm interested, like just kind of some basic stuff of like, these are things I'm interested in, which are all things that like I would sell. And I clicked Stumbled Upon. I would click the button, it would like find a random site. And I was like, that's weird. Click another one. And also I remember clicking one and this blog popped up that had like 350,000 active readers. And I was like, I've never heard of this person. I've never seen this blog. And like, there's a name. And I like put that and it became added to my Dream 100. And I clicked another one, 2 or 3. And all of a sudden I popped up this one that had the landing page. I opted in and it showed like a running tally, how many people were on this person's list. And it was like 800,000 something. I'm like, I've never heard of this person's name before. And so every night I would sit there and stumble upon just clicking on buttons and just finding these like sites that had huge followings or email lists or just random stuff that like, it was like, it was actually, I started that right when I got my very first iPad. I'd sit in bed on my iPad and just click on this button. And it was just like, I remember telling my wife, she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm looking for buried treasure. Like there's gold. Like every one of the, like one blog, one podcast, one thing that I didn't know about that I find it could open up 100 or 1,000 new customers just out of thin air. And it just became a really fun, place, like way to find random places that you never, like, I can't Google, and I wouldn't know what to Google to find that blog or, or whatever, but like it's there and there's a huge audience that listens to it. And just opens up this whole new world to you of stuff you never even knew was possible before.
And do you use influencer marketing at all?
Yes, a lot.
Okay. How do you reach out to these kind of obscure blogs you find or influencers to help with marketing?
It depends. Like if you look at like Instagram or stuff like that, there's like networks and there's people that's their full-time job. And so we have people we've tapped into who are just like, okay, we'll find influencers on Instagram to do that. With these other more rare ones, usually I personally reach out to them because I don't know, I kind of enjoy it, and I just reach out and it's like, hey, I just found your blog. This is amazing. I don't know how long you've been publishing this for. And then usually the person right back, I'm like, do you sell ads? Like, can I buy ads in an email list? Like, or what's even available? And that's kind of how it starts the conversation. It's just a really fast way. And but I usually lead with like just telling them how cool. Like, I just found you. Like, how have I not known about you for this long? And they get excited, right. And it just starts a friendship and a dialogue. And then for me, like I'll usually put them on my Dream 100 list, which then usually means I'm going to send them something in the mail. I'm going to, just start building a relationship with them. And if I can buy ads from them, I do that. I like to try to buy ads from people initially. That's a good way to build a relationship. A lot of times is giving people money. And then from there, seeing how you can integrate with them in more aspects of business and more promotions and things like that.
Nice. Do you have thoughts about organic versus paid traffic?
Yes, we do both heavily. We're big on paid just because paid is fast and like we're doing stuff so quickly. We have so many offers coming out all the time. Like I love paid because it's like you get instant gratification. But at the same time, over the last year and a half, I've been looking at the companies that are the next tier above where I'm at, right? I'm looking at Shopify and HubSpot and looking at and trying to understand their strategy, because it's different than like a lot of us internet marketing people who are like, we like to hit I want the fast traffic as quick as we can.
Right.
And it's been interesting, like watching Shopify, for example, like the majority of their traffic now comes from these little apps they make that are free, like business name generator, trademark generator, like things like that. They're just, it's a WordPress free software thing that they rank now for it, and they get insane amounts of traffic. And so we've spent over the last year really focusing more on the organic. It's frustrating because it takes longer, but then when you get that flywheel moving, like it can generate a lot more than you can on the paid side. So I think for most people, it's starting with the paid to get faster, but then like understanding, like take percentage of your budget and focusing it there. Because even now, like just in the last year that we've had the ClickFunnels blog, like the traffic coming from it is it's not where paid ads are yet, but like I can see the next year and a half, 2 years, it'll surpass it. And then and it's organic, so it's free at that point, which is the best kind of traffic at that point, you know?
Amen. I love it. And do you ever buy any of those little software apps to kind of help, or are you mostly developing in-house?
A little bit of both, actually. We obviously have a good development team, and so we're building a bunch of them right now. But at the same time, I'm always on Flippa and little websites like that, trying to find little one-off things that we can purchase for those kind of things. So in fact, we're in the middle. I can't tell you the deal yet because we're in the middle of negotiating, but there's one right now, a really cool software app we found on Flippa that it's actually like 5 or 6 little programs. We're trying to like break them out, so it seems like 5 software instead of one.
Right.
We're in negotiation with them right now, and yeah, so I like both sides of it.
That's great. And what is kind of next for ClickFunnels?
It's the last 5 years has been like, it's been fun. It's been like this crazy roller coaster. And recently I was reading the book Crossing the Chasm, because I'm trying to figure out, I feel like ClickFunnels at the chasm, right? If you look at I think there's 5 different levels. Like first is like the early adopters, which are like all the internet marketing nerds like us who are like, and then there's like the next group, which is like the people who like, I can't remember the next phase, but I feel like we've penetrated pretty deep there.
Yep.
For us to get to the next step, it is the chasm. And I think for us to do that, it's going to be a big software upgrade, a lot of simplification, a lot of things that will make it so the next group will understand it and be able to use it more. And so that's kind of what we're looking at now. I feel like we've penetrated so deep, everything in the first 2, and like to really get from 100,000 members to 1 million members, it's going to be a big software update, which we're looking at now. And then the marketing shifts as well, where it shifts away from, I don't know, it shifts more mainstream and more general, less fun for me, but it's kind of the next level, next tier. So that's the game we're trying to figure out now. And I'm reading it, I'm studying it and learning it, trying to understand it, looking at what the big players who have made that jump, how they did it. And so definitely in a year or 2 from now, I can come back and tell you what we did. Right now, it's just kind of guesses of what we're supposed to do.
One of the things that I loved in your book was the very last chapter where you talk about how you look at the growth hacks that some of the big, more successful companies have done, and then how you adapted them to ClickFunnels. Everybody should definitely check all those out. Would you share one of those if you have them off the top of your head, just one?
Yeah, my favorite one is when we first building ClickFunnels. It was like a weird thing where like there's gonna be millions of pages with our thing on it, right? Kind of like if you remember Hotmail had their like when they launched Hotmail, like the very bottom was like, yes, I love you. Get Hotmail for free here, whatever. Yeah. And so we're like, well, how do we do that? And so first, like, we're gonna hard code like ClickFunnels in every footer. Like, I think people will hate that. And so we're like, what if we put a little badge at the bottom that says powered by ClickFunnels? And by default, it's on, but someone can turn it off. And the person whose account is an affiliate links too. So if somebody goes and clicks on it, they get paid they get paid a commission for it. So it's not like we're taking it away from them. It's just they're by default they're an affiliate and they can turn it off if they want to. And so we added that, I don't know, a week or 2 after we launched, just kind of like as an afterthought. And now 5 years later, there's over $1 million a month in recurring revenue that can be directly attributed to the little powered by ClickFunnels badge that we just put on there as an after. I mean, it's $12 million a year that came from the little badge, and will continue to grow, for forever. But it's those little things that are just like, like a little thing that gets whatever you're doing to grow externally. You know what I mean?
It's that I think you talked about it in the book too, the butterfly marketing thing, right? It's
that little things that cause these huge things over time that are amazing. So I wish there was more of those you could just like come up with every single day. But every time, I think there's 3 of them I share in the book that were just like these huge things that moved huge needles for us that were really interesting.
That's so cool. Now, the book isn't currently available in Amazon. It's only available, as I'm aware, for free through you. Is that correct?
Yep. I think May 5th is when we get to start, is like the official pub date. And that's when Amazon starts shipping and everything. But yeah, people can go get it now. And the audiobook's available right now over at trafficsecrets.com, and they can pre-order it. And then it's all there right now.
What's the strategy behind launching first internally and then going out to all the rest of the world?
A couple of things. One is like, I'm not banking on this, but like I would love to try it one of the bestseller lists. And a lot of those nowadays, the algorithms change all the time, and a big part of it now is pre-sales. Mm-hmm. And so there's a bunch of pre-sale stuff happening. Number two is like selling it directly from Amazon or Barnes. Like I don't make nearly as much, even though like the people paying full price. Like if you guys want to see, I spent 18 months writing the book. I spent most of that 18 months like strategizing on the funnel for it. Mm-hmm. And I built a lot of book funnels in my day. I built them for Tony Robbins. I built them for Dave Asprey. I built them for every, tons of people. This book funnel is out converted every other one that I've done like 2 to 1. We were getting, for the majority of the launch was over $65 average cart value, which that's over 45,000 books sold. So that's, it's really, really, anyway. For the funnel nerds, it's really good. So is that
a funnel that's available on the ClickFunnels platform?
You look at it, it's really easy to model, and it's not hard to build. I'm sure people will be knocking it off and giving away as templates soon enough. But it's really simple. I mean, there's a couple little tweaks you'll notice when you see it. Like one thing that I've always thought, because I love design, desktop design, which is usually like 2 columns. But majority of traffic for us nowadays is coming from mobile. So like if you look at this page, it's all mobily optimized from the beginning. Like, it's only 1 column. There's not like the mobile version, the desktop version look the same because it's 1 long column, which had a lot to do. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of little things you can notice as you go through it, but it's definitely converting really well. So it's, we make more money through the funnel that way. Then obviously we're able to follow up people. We can hopefully from there get people to upgrade to ClickFunnels. And so, as much as I love Amazon and the other things, the funnel, I'm a funnel guy. That's where I want people to be. And I want them to see the art of what we created. Like the funnel's so cool.
I love it. Now, and I can't recommend, I was trying to pull it up real quick, but I don't know if people can see, but we use ClickFunnels on on a lot of our offers as well. So the places that people should go to get the book, the audio book, to sign up for ClickFunnels, all that kind of stuff, where should everybody find you now?
Yep. So if you go to trafficsecrets.com, you can get the book. Again, it's free plus shipping right now. The order form bump has the audio book, and the upsell, you can get the whole box set if you want the entire huge trilogy and everything. So that's there. And if you guys want ClickFunnels, if you go to clickfunnels.com, you can get a free trial there and play with it and try it out as well.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for coming in and hanging out for a little bit today. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It's fun to, we're going to hang out and talk enough. So it's good to have some FaceTime with you. I appreciate it, man.
I love it. Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.